What a wonderful act to follow. Thank you, David. Seriously. If you ever seen or heard or talked to David about Thomas Paine, you should. I just gave my students your notes on Thomas Paine. Definitely a necessity right now. Instead of quoting Orwell to start off with, the last 2 years, I have a new baby, and so I've been running around after a toddler. And so my morality in the house has been reduced down to, you don't want to, but you got to. And after Jessica's contextualization of why we're here, I think that all resonates. You don't want to, but you got to be here. And so thank you for having me here. I really appreciate it. I'm going to read a poem called The Prayer for Living Onward, which is dedicated to the lives of the 9 victims of the Emanuel AME in Charleston, South Carolina, known as the Charleston 9. I want to say their names in this space. Cynthia Marie Graham Hurd, Susie Jackson, Ethel Lee Lance, Dr. DePuane Middleton, and the church pastor Clementa Pickney, Tawanza Sanders, Daniel Simmons, Sharonda Coleman Singleton, and Myra Thompson. This poem begins with and uses as a golden shovel of sorts device a quote from Dr. Martin Luther King in his 1963 elegy delivered at the funeral service for three of the 4 children killed, Adam Mae Collins, Carol Denise McNair, and Cynthia Diane Wesley in the 16th Street Baptist Church bombing in Birmingham, Alabama. The quote, "They died between the sacred walls of the Church of God, and they were discussing the eternal meaning of love. This stands out as a beautiful, beautiful thing for all generations. And as we are here to attack, I hope we attack with love. By the time the heat of this settles, they will still be gone. Yet I will want to know they died fearlessly. I want there to be no blood or stone between their Bible verses or their names. Each must have offered to the newcomer. I want to believe there was no malice while the sacred hour of prayer was happening, but the walls of a church, a sanctuary, have become the streets of Baltimore or Ferguson or Sanford. The path my belief wants to take is on fire, burns with church bombings from the past, riots in Watts, the insurrection of Denmark Vesey, and yet all I can muster up is, dear God, not again. By the time the heat of this settles and the authorities cry and try to keep cool, 9 will be gone. And they deserve blood, my mind keeps saying. But the Reverend knows they were praying long after the others were finished. He knows discussing the ways of God living amongst the unsung heroes of the community takes time. All truth. But so was Vesey's path to the eternal. His anger broods in my veins. He understood how meaning can be shrouded in the preparation for an uprising, that the people of the community need their fists to accompany their wits. But love back then, as it is now, was stronger. And this is what the Reverend keeps reminding me, and what stands in the way of my foolishness. The Reverend knows that noise is out everywhere. It always has been. It is a rampage as quick as sin and as old too. The thick waters surrounding Charleston are a reminder of this. This boy cannot strike down the beautiful folks whose struggle built those walls. The beautiful church is not a museum, and we are not its relics, a thing to be dusted and preserved, a thing to be forgotten. Forgo the anger for another time. And when I nod, he knows the fight crescendos, all of it, as I go to my knees, the way his kind has always done for generations. Thank you.